What's going on, gamers? It's thundercrashed. Today, at you with a review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Marvel Rivals, the hit multiplayer team shooter. Now, I'd like to start this video off by saying, please do hit that like and subscribe button. It does help out, and you can always unsubscribe later. Now, let's get straight into the video. Alright, now like I said earlier, now we're going to go over a little overview of the game. So, Marvel Rivals is a hero shooter, like I said. So, hero shooters are your games such as Overwatch and Valorant. And just like in those games, you get to choose your hero, or in this case, your villain, and play as them. Now, some of the heroes include Hulk, Iron Man, Iron Fist, Moon Knight, or Rocket Raccoon, and the best boy, Jeff the Landshark. And one of the villains are Magneto, the mutant. Now, Marvel Rivals consists of 3 main modes. Your first mode is going to be your capture the objective. Your second mode is going to be your escort the payload. And then the third mode combines both of those game modes as your escort the payload and your capture the objective. Now, time to move straight into our first class, the Vanguard class, or your tank class. So our first hero for the tank class is going to be Banner, or Hulk. In his banner form, he has 3 things that he can do. He can shoot rapid fire projectiles at 25 rounds per reload. He also has his grenade, which will knock himself or enemies back dependent on who he is aiming at. He also has his ultimate ability in that form, which allows him to turn into the Hulk. Now, while in Hulk form, he has multiple things he can do, such as infinite punches at close range. He also has a thunderclap, which sends enemies back while also dealing damage. He has a shield, which protects himself from any oncoming damage for a few seconds. He also has his scream and does damage on the initial impact. Then, while he is Hulk, he also has another ultimate where he can turn into what I like to call Monster Hulk. And so in his Monster Hulk form, he can do all the same things that he can do in his regular Hulk form, but in Monster Hulk, he can deal more damage and all of his abilities are powered up. So that concludes it for Hulk. Now moving on to our next hero, Magneto. Alright, now we have Magneto, who has a slow, fully automatic metal projectile for his primary fire, which has 20 shots on its own. He also has a ability which allows him to shoot out a more powerful projectile, but at the cost of his metal ring on his back. He also has a shield, which has a limited amount of health, and when that health runs out, it does disappear. But while he has the shield, it does protect him and his allies from any oncoming damage. He also has a shield that he can put around himself or allies, but it cannot be both at the same time. So once that shield is on an ally, it will protect them from a certain amount of damage or for a certain amount of time. Until that shield runs out, that person cannot take any damage to their main health. Now, he also has his ultimate ability, which is a giant metal ball that gains more damage the more that people shoot at him while he has it out. So now we move on to our DPS. We're going to be starting off with Winter Soldier or Bucky Barnes. So now we have the Winter Soldier or Bucky Barnes. His primary fire is a long-range pistol with 3 shots. It is semi-automatic or can be fully automatic if the button is held down. He has an ability where he can grapple enemies towards him, bringing them closer so that way it is easier to get headshots. It also does damage on impact. He has a beam, which will fire at enemies, dealing damage for whoever is in the area. He also has a fist, where he will punch the enemy and then it'll carry them and do an uppercut, all doing damage. And then he has his ultimate ability, Kraken Impact, where if he kills an enemy with it, or a few seconds after the ultimate is finished, he can continue using his ultimate for as many times as he kills an enemy. And that's Bucky Barnes. Now we're moving on to Iron Man. Alright, now going with Iron Man, unlike other characters, he can fly, actually. But going with his abilities, his primary fire is his repulsor beams. He also has an ability where he can use his nanotech to create a more powered up cannons on his arms, which do fire large projectiles. And he also has missiles that he can shoot out while he is using that ability. He also has his chest arc reactor beam, which is using the ammo from his primary fire. He also has a ability where he can fly faster, and that also allows him to shoot out his missiles. He can only shoot out the missiles while he is using his powered-up beams or while he is flying or dashing. He also has his ultimate ability, which is his maximum pulse, and that ability is just a giant bomb. And so up next, we're moving on to the support classes with Rocket Raccoon. Up next, we have Rocket Raccoon, our first support. He has a primary fire of a fully automatic minigun. He also has a secondary fire, which is allowed to heal his allies. He also has his first ability, which is a healing platform. It does produce armor packs, which if enemy allies pick them up, it will heal them. He also can revive those allies with that platform, but once an ally becomes revived, it does destroy the platform. He also has a secondary ability, which is a booster, which does boost him up in the air, and that has 2 charges. He also has a passive ability which allows him to climb up on walls, and he also has another passive where he can float down from the walls or after a boost. He has his ultimate ability, which is a amplifying platform. It does give any allies in the radius an amplifier to both their damage, and I believe it heals them. Now moving on to our final character, Jeff the Land Shark. Alright, now we have Jeff the Land Shark, our final character. So Jeff's primary fire is a water ball that he shoots out of his mouth. He also has a secondary fire, which is a healing water pulse. He has an ability where he can shoot out bubbles that heal allies when they walk into them. He also has an ability where he can swim underwater, where he does become faster. He also has his ultimate ability where he can swallow enemies into his mouth, and after that he can spit them out. Most of the time people spit them off of a ledge or jump off of a ledge with them inside of them. So that is Jeff the Land Shark. Now moving on to my thoughts and opinions. Alright, now my final thoughts and opinions are, I believe that Marvel Rivals is one of the best games of this year, or actually last year. But I feel like this is going to be one of those games that lives on forever, and continues getting updates and updates and updates and new seasons and new skins for everyone. And by the end of this year, I believe that we are going to have a whole bunch of skins for each character. Now, some of the pros of this game are, it is a really nice and entertaining way to pass time, and its team gameplay and some of the ways that it has team up abilities are much different than other games such as Valorant or Overwatch. Now, some of the cons of this being a multiplayer game are that sometimes you will be the best person in your team, and the rest of your team will do like absolute garbage. But other times you will be in a team of your own skill level if you are playing in ranked. But if you're playing in random matches or quick play, then there's no guarantee that you will be getting people of your skill level. But overall, it's a really good game, and it's free, so anyone can play it whenever they want. Now, as always, do not forget to like and subscribe, like I said in the beginning, And make sure to check out my Twitch channel, thundercrashed at twitch.tv. I stream whenever I feel like it. There is no set schedule for me. Now, I'm signing off. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out!